So it's about time to wrap up this trip. Let's see how the wrap up is. Trip's been a little bumpy, but let's see how the wrap up is. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Married to Medicine. This is season 7, episode 7. Now, we got the girls, they're down south, and the guys are at home, okay? So the girls are in Savannah, and the guys, we see Scott and Cecil get together. Scott got a babysitter, went over to hang out with Cecil down in the man cave and have some drinks and some food. And the whole time he's talking about his Contessa. And he's feeling as though he's worried. He doesn't want Contessa to be resentful about, her quitting her schooling and all of that stuff. And he's dead on because, she was having a conversation with Jackie about the resentment. And Jackie was asking her, are you feeling resentment? And she's like, yes. So they're definitely, they're in sync. And, that's like one of the things that I love about Contessa and Scott is that they are in sync, which was one of the things that I used to love so much about Cecil and Simone. They were so different, but they were in sync with each other. And when the sync fell off, you all see what happened. They almost ended up divorced. So same thing with Scott and Contessa. So I was kind of glad that Scott was talking to Cecil, because Cecil saw what that whole thing looks like. And he definitely pushed him and told him, yeah, definitely, you want to definitely do counseling. Counseling is a good idea. Jackie and Contessa, Jackie done been through some stuff as pertains to her marriage. And I think Contessa's just very, very comfortable with Jackie. And Jackie told her, resentment spilling into the marriage is dangerous. It's very dangerous and it's not where you want to be. Jackie definitely told her, a counseling is a definite, and Contessa made the joke. She says, I don't need a counselor, girl, I got you. He's like, yes, you do, but no, you need a counselor. So I kind of laughed at that. She told Contessa, it's good. Everything that you want to do, that you aspire to be more, is perfect. It's who you are. It's who you're meant to be. But sometimes you have to put those aspirations off for a little bit. You can aspire to be more, but maybe not right now. Maybe you can't be more right now. You got to be just what you need to be right now, and then you can be more at a later time. So that's just, because you have children. Children do that. So that's that thing. They said a prayer together, and Contessa was very open. She's very open to Jackie and what Jackie had to say, and that helps. There's nothing worse than talking to a person that's closed, because then you wonder, what are we talking for? Why do you even come to talk to me if you close to everything I say? Just tell me you want to vent, and then I'll just sit and let you vent. But I don't need you to come to me on one, So she was very open. So definitely, I was like, the whole thing, the conversation with Scott and Cecil made me happy. The conversation with Jackie and Contessa made me happy. It was cool. Then they did something I thought was so much fun. Masquerade. They did a masquerade ball in a barn. Okay. So everybody was like dressed. Everybody looked great. They all put their gowns and their nice dresses on and their masks, and they had their hair all done, like literally like they were going to a masquerade ball in a ballroom. But it was in a barn. Everybody except for Toya. Toya had on jeans. She looked like the whole big oddball out. Um, I just said, and I had written it on my notes. Damn, sometimes you just got to go with it. Just go with it. I'll tell you, back in the day, whenever I was running my house, and you all know that I was part of the ballroom culture and all that in Pittsburgh. So we would do different things. Even I'm gonna go back even before I had my own house, when I was actually a member of a house. I was a member of what was known as the House of Domination, which was the first house in Pittsburgh. And we would do things. It was like a team building type of thing. And it was just a thing that we did. It was like a fellowship. We would just decide we're all going to go to the club, but everybody going to wear pajamas. So you would know who the members of the house were, because we were all in sync. We were all in unison. We were the only ones in the club with just a random Wednesday or Thursday with pajamas on. And that stuff like that was just so much fun to me. That I carried on that tradition whenever I started my own house, which was the House of Treasure. I tell my kids in a minute, I said, we all going to dress in white. And it'd be the middle of winter. The middle of winter, and we're all dressed in white. I'll never forget. It was the one time we went to a ball and we dressed in white, and it was it was the first Saturday in January, and we went to the ball and we stuffed everybody at the time I had a white Ford Explorer. We stuffed everybody in this white Ford Explorer, and we went to this ball, and Child and I had on a white swimsuit. I was smaller than Child. I had on a white swimsuit with suede boots with a fiberglass heel, and the little jacket with the fur hood and the fur on the wrists, and the boots had the fur on it. Just odd, but you knew all the members of Treasure because we were all in white in the middle of winter, the dead of winter, jumping out of a white truck, honey. It was flawless, honey. And the kids gagged when we came through the door, and of course we purposely came just a little bit late, honey, and gagged the kids. That kind of stuff. Sometimes you just gotta go with it, and it's just fun to be stupid and not make sense to other people, but people get it. They get it, and it's a team building thing. So that's what that brought to mind for me. That made me think of that, and it made me smile. But anyway, so then they removed their masks, and then they had like the chefs came out, and it's definitely like that when you go to when I was in New Orleans. Places were like that, like you would meet the chefs and different things like that. Like they really pride themselves in that kind of stuff, and that Southern hospitality, and I like that. But came out and we found out that the menu for the night was it included foods that symbolize emotions. So it was perfect. It went right along with the theme of everything that Jackie had been doing. Toya, first one that goes off course. She slid over into her role as Tacky Toya. That's why she was always named that, Tacky Toya. She says, all the stuff that went along with Mariah. And Mariah's like, I'm just going to sit back and try to chill and just enjoy the rest of this. Oh, damn Toya. She going to say, oh, every time I'm looking here reading cake, I just see Coke. I was like, no, Toya, no. And of course, Mariah was sitting there with an attitude, hair looking a mess again, as usual. And then everybody was telling me, oh, yeah, Mariah says she's not wearing any wigs this season. She's wearing her own natural hair. That is not her own natural hair. So stop it. She may not wear any wigs, but she definitely has some weave, and it's not her own natural hair. I'm not buying that that's all Mariah's hair. A frizzy mess, yes, but not her hair. You can see her hair in the top, frizzing up, but the weave is frizzy too. I'm like, okay, girl, I guess. But anyway, she brought that up, and of course that kind of made her a little uneasy. And then Simone decides to address the Quad and Mariah thing. And I was like, oh, God, Everything was going so well. And then they brought that up, and then half of the table says, we gonna go to the bathroom. It just broke up the whole dinner. Um, Half of them end up in the bathroom. Quad's like, I am not taking back what I said. I don't care what you all say. I know what I saw. I can't unsee it. Okay? And that's that. That is that. And they're trying, the other half is out there at the table. It's Toya, Jackie, and Mariah were at the table. Toya, Jackie, Mariah, and Heavenly were at the table. And here Mariah had Aiden, Aiden's her best girlfriend, honey. He sent her the results of her supposed drug test, and she got it printed out, and they're trying to give it to Jack. Jack is like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to be involved. Heavenly got it from the table and was like, I ain't in this shit. Period. Don't put me in it. I don't want to be a part of it. Because she brought it to her and said, you said you believed Quad. She's like, I ain't getting into this. I'm not doing it. I'm not. She walked away. And I didn't go real deep into this, but I've never heard anything about no drug test. I don't care about your hair being pulled or not. No 10 years. I'm not buying that, but whatever. It is what it is. So Mariah ends up getting up and leaving out and ends up sitting at the bus with the bus driver. She over there talking about Game of Thrones, and the man that said, I don't watch no damn Game of Thrones, child. You goon. Why is you out here? It was just ridiculous. I was like, child, it's just too much. Too much. But anyway, like I said, Jackie and Heavenly wouldn't indulge. They ended up leaving. They didn't even eat. They didn't even get their food, their main course. And Contessa was like, listen, I'm going to be ghetto. As I ain't playing this game. Like, we going to go back to this house and we ain't ate. And I done put on my best duds and all that. And Heaven's like, girl, I'll just order Uber Eats. She's like, Uber Eat mine. So she went in there and seen the little guy who was the chef, and he was so gracious, and he had packed everything up in boxes for them and had their plates ready for them, and he let them take it as a takeout. And I was like, that was really nice. Contessa went and got it, and she hugged them and everything. I actually clicked a picture of it and everything. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That type of hospitality. That's yeah, you don't get that up where I live. Like I said, I've seen this in the South. The further south you go, I don't see that up around here. But anyway, so that was groovy. Then the next day, which was the last day, they went to visit the Church of Freedom, which is this 200-year-old church in Savannah. Beautiful church. Really, really pretty. They went there. Then they did testimonies. And I said, you know what? Production, y'all are giving Quad a whole lot. A whole lot. I've noticed it. It's a pattern that they're always clowning her about how slow she is and how long-winded she is. As soon as she starts talking, they give her like the crickets and the music and all of this. Like, oh gosh, she's talking. It's going to be forever. Said, y'all giving my girl a bit too much. Giving her a bit too much. But they all did like little testimonies about what they've gained from the trip and this kind of thing. And same old that we usually do, but it was good. And then as they were walking out the church, I said, is that what I'm seeing? What I think I'm seeing? Yeah. Quad and Simone on the same page. I said, well, look at there. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? And that was it. And I was like, that's cool. And then the last thing we saw, everybody gets home, and Allura and Heavenly leave Allura alone. She was up there messing with Allura, child, and Allura was like, leave me alone and get the hell out of my room, honey. I was like, if you don't leave that child alone, let her be. She's 14. She thought you ain't but 12, mama. No, she's 14. Leave her alone, Heavenly. Leave her alone. But anyway, that was pretty much it. It wasn't a bad episode at all. It wasn't bad. I think we're going to get in gear for some more stuff next week, but this was pretty cool. But again, Mariah, if you're so miserable, why do you come? Why do you come? You just don't want to. You don't ever want to let anything go. You don't ever want to just come. You come with intent to fuss and with intent to argue and with intent to not get along. Why? You're like a goddamn thorn. Jesus. Anyway, I'll catch y'all next week.